All right. So welcome everyone to our lower body strengthening and balance class. I believe that's the name. So many classes. Let me confirm before.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well.
Not
Yes.
many people today. What's going on?
Yeah. Maybe people think we're still on spring break. So,
Uh-huh.
yes. But I know some folks had spring break this week, at least where I'm at.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Spring break going on since a month. So all right, so welcome everyone. This is our joint health and balance class. So we'll start on the chair, do some stretches, some movements, and then work on some strengthening work as well. So yeah, just follow along and yeah, we'll have a nice relaxing next hour. Shouldn't be super taxing. So let's go ahead and begin with our facial exercises. We haven't done these in a while. So let's open our jaw as wide as we can. So open, tilt your head up, and as once you've done that, try to shut your jaw. So bringing your chin towards your nose, you should feel a nice stretch going on here. So again, let's go ahead and do about 10 of those. So really pulling that chin towards your nose. Few more. So again, bringing your chin towards your jaw. So your chin towards your nose. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and just continue. We'll do some gentle palpation on the face. So just gently, just touch from your earlobes, yeah, on your jawline. Good morning, Ella, Mr. Ahmed. Good morning. Welcome. And just gentle touches from our earlobes down our jawline. Let's go to the side of our eyes down to the side of our face, side of our eyes, the edges of our eyes to the edge of our lips. We're gonna take some deep breaths. So inhale for about 3 seconds through your nose and exhale about 5 to 7 seconds through your lips. And try to get your core, get all that air out. So inhale, deep breath. Exhale, get it all out. We don't want to feel lightheaded or anything, so just make sure you're comfortable. Move it out. Let's do two more. This one. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and um, fill up our cheeks with air, and we're just gonna move that air bubble from side to side, upper lip, lower lip, just kind of stretching the muscles, the skin around our face. So let's go ahead and do that. Morning, Debbie. So again, don't forget the lower and upper lip. Last one. And then relax. So All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next stretches. So just gently looking left to right. So got an email. We have to do drops for anyone that hasn't been showing up. So obviously if you're here, you're safe. But I bring that up just in case if you're enrolled in any other classes and you haven't attended, you will be dropped more than likely by the end of this week. So just make sure if you have other classes you've been busy with, you haven't gotten around to, just say hello or do your assignment. But yeah, but those, I think the last day might be Thursday or Friday. So anyone that hasn't checked in will be dropped. Let's look left and add a little bit of pressure to our right side. All right, let's look right. Play some pressure there. Then gently, let's look up and down. Just be gentle. You don't want to do any sudden movements. Don't want to pull anything. So some neck circles. So just gently bring your head around. Switch. Very good. Let's go ahead and sit on our left hand. Bring your right hand over. And then just allow the weight of your arm to stretch that left side of your neck. Make sure you're breathing gently. Switch. Put on that right hand. Very good. All right, and then now both hands just gently on the top, back top part of your head, and elbows come down. Good. We're gonna do a little bit of isometric strength work. So we're just gonna place our hand here, and I want you to try to move your head this way. So our hand's gonna prevent that, and that should be strengthening that left side of our neck. So just act like your hand's a wall and you're pushing up against it with your head and relax. So let's do about 8 repetitions of 3-second holds. So 1, 2, 3, relax. 1, 2, 3, relax. Repeat. Do a total of 8. Do more. Very good. All right, switch sides. So left hand now is our wall, and 8 repetitions, 3-second press. A little bit of soreness settling in. Two more. Very good. So should feel that right on this side, right on this side. So, all right, let's relax a little bit. So snow angels, so just gentle snow angels here. Morning, Josefina. Reach up towards the ceiling and push up. Stretch your arms up towards the sky. Pressing. And relax. And just relax those shoulders. So we'll try to separate elbow, shoulder, and back stretches so they don't get too sore. Bring that elbow up. And again, just bring that forearm down. Went to a Dodger game on Monday, and they had Hello Kitty night. So I had to, my only job besides enjoying the game was to bring back a Hello Kitty doll, my daughter. And of course, um, they ran out as we're approaching the gate. So I was not able to get any. But it was just unusual traffic. Usually it's it's downtown LA coming from the like the Whittier area, so it takes us about 40 minutes to get there. But I don't know now because they just won the championship last year, so I don't know if now there's a lot more people or it's just a bad traffic um Monday in downtown, but it took us almost 2 hours to get there. So yeah, I was pretty bummed. I was telling my friend was telling me he has a little girl. I think she's 18 months old, and he said he was gonna get there at 5:30. The game started at 7. And I told him, I was like, "You're getting there way too early." And sure enough, he was the only one that got the Hello Kitty doll. So we just missed it. So let's do shoulder circles. We're here, and then just bring your shoulders up, forward, and back. Two more. Go in reverse now. Very good. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our Arnold press motion. So here, push and rotate in. Let's do 10 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Mm. Move on to our first set of box squats or body weight box squats. Again, just here in our chair, we're gonna use both feet just as a warm up. We'll do the single leg later today. So just give me 10. So it's right here, working on a little bit of balance. And I'm doing these barefoot right now. Just wearing my socks, no shoes. Do 2 more. One. Very good. All right. So let's continue. Let's bring that right arm across. I don't know if you folks saw, I think there's an email sent out about I think like little job expo at Santa Ana College. So if you have um, anyone's looking for work, I think I saw Disneyland was gonna be out there. But I think there's a couple other employers that yeah, just looking for folks to hire. So not sure if it's temporary or seasonal or permanent, but yeah, I'll share if you want to stick around at the end of the class, I could share that email. Let's do our cat scratching pose. So we're gonna be sitting towards the edge of the chair. We're gonna reach up towards the ceiling. You could separate your legs a little bit. Reach up, back is straight from the top all the way to the bottom. Pull back. Let's do 8 of those. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. Awesome. Let's go with some trunk rotation. So legs are facing forward and just gentle using the backrest of your chair. Rotate and hold for about 15 to 20 seconds. Go ahead and switch. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and do a little bit of bicep and tricep work. So you're just gonna do opposite shoulder tap. So just keeping your elbows at your side. Opposite shoulder tap. Okay, now tricep press down. So palms up, facing the camera, and then down. Again, elbows stay at your side. Very good. All right, door opener. So elbow at your side. In, out. On the side. And let's switch. Left elbow in. One, two, three, four. Okay, let's just work a little bit on our wrist. We won't spend too much time, but we could do them both at the same time. So let's start with our thumbs, pointing finger, middle finger, index, and pinky. So again, just trying to bring the fingers to the center of our palms without bending the knuckles. Just try to keep them straight. And that's also working on your forearm. So all the little tendons running from your wrist to your elbow, you could see them activating. So let's make a fist. Web your fingers out. Fist, web them out. So now we're working on the tendons that are in between each finger. So again, if you don't use it, you lose it. So typically, if you aren't active with some tendons, well, not some, but all tendons and muscles, they'll just become stiff and rigid over time. So we want to make sure that they stay flexible. All right, so very good. And now just close your fist and just gentle circles. Make sure there's no pain. Just little circles. You could switch directions too. And just go up and down. Very good. Right. Let's go ahead and do our single leg box squat. So remember, single leg, you could be we'll have the right leg either elevated or extended out, or you could bring it a little bit closer, but most of the work is going to be done by that fixed leg, which here it's going to be the left one. So let's go for 8 to 10. So again, you're here and you're just going to come up. We're not using our hands. Make sure your chair doesn't roll from underneath you. Kind of regroup. I'll reset and switch. So other leg. Right away, I could tell my right leg is less stable than my left. So these unilateral exercises help strengthen, one leg specifically. Awesome. Right. We'll come back and work on some strengthening stuff afterwards. So let's do a hip opener. So we're here, right leg comes out, torso's nice and straight. Just make sure that knee doesn't collapse down. So you want to usually have my hand there to prevent that. Switch. You might feel some areas of your leg get tight. On this side, I found my glute get a little tighter in my lower back. So yeah, so when you notice little things like that, just be mindful. Don't just forget about them, but try to pay attention to them. Make sure they don't get worse. If you ever feel a little tightness or something feels funky, set. All right, piriformis stretch. Right ankle on that left knee. Left knee. Gentle push down on that knee. Just gentle. Bring that right knee up. Just hug it. Feel it a little bit more on the lateral side. Go ahead and switch. Left ankle on that right knee now. Gently on that knee. Push down gently. Bring that right leg up. Hold it. Great. All right, so we're still on the chair. You know, be here, sit towards the edge of the chair, recline back. Bring that knee close to your chest and do some leg extensions. Working on some mobility on your hamstring. So your hamstring, the muscle, the backside of your thigh, that's what's allowing this movement to work. Do about 12 to 15 of these extensions. One. Switch legs. Raise that heel as high as you can and drop it as low as you can. We're gonna do a leg press motion, so just come in, kick out, and drop that leg. Bring it back. Working out the upper part of your hamstring, closer to your glutes. And that full extension is also activating your quad, which is that front part of your thigh. And then good. Switch. That left hip pops a little bit more. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do some calf raises, heel raises. So right here, bring your heels off the ground. Try to flex them for about a second before you bring them back down. About 15 to 20 of these. Now let's do our toe raises. So heels are flat on the floor, and then bring your toes up, down. Just working on the front part of your lower leg. Good. All right, let's do our ABCs with our ankles. So trace the letters of the alphabet here. Working on mobility of the ankle joint. Switch, once you're ready. Very good. Let's go ahead and just lead our feet are flat on the floor. And then just bring your toes towards your heel. So your heel is flat, bring your toes line at the floor. You should feel the arches activating, just working. And now with your feet flat, heavy still, or on bringing those arches. So instead of clawing, you're still trying to bring your forefoot towards your heel, but without flexing your toes. Okay. This is a little bit more challenging. It does require a little bit more focus. Just, and you'll feel that on your calves. I feel that on my calves, and I'm really bringing that. So we're just trying to activate different tendons without moving other parts of our joints. It's almost like when we try to bring our fingers to the center of our palm when we're bending each knuckle, and we do it with keeping the knuckles straight. It's the same idea, but obviously it's with different arches. So, all right, let's go ahead and get on our feet. We're gonna do a couple stretches for our shoulder, and then we'll use the chair for some hip mobility. So find me your foam roller, a broomstick, whatever you like. Have a little bit of water too. So just take about a minute to get those items. Go ahead and work on those shoulders. So just gently left to right to here. Work on that left shoulder. So bring it up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, 30 degrees forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 60 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Towards the back. Okay. So 1. Breaking on that back side. 2, 3. Again, we don't want any pain. 4. There might be a little discomfort, but it shouldn't be pain. The discomfort might just be there for really tight, but it shouldn't be too bad. Last one. Very good. All right, right side. Okay. Ready? Also bring that to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 30 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go 60. 2, 3, 4. 90, right in front of you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, torso back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's go behind the back here and let's go up and down. 1, 2, 3, full extension. 4, so go up as high as you can, and as low as you can. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're gonna lift. Okay, so now we're lifting back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alrighty. Go ahead, put that away. All right. I do want to use the chair for some hip mobility. So depending on your flexibility, you could use the top part of the backrest or the actual seat of the chair. So for this one, I think we've done these before. So again, we're just gonna hold on to a post or a wall, where we're gonna be nice and stable. And we're just gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna use the top part, so I'm gonna go around and reverse. And then same opposite, okay? So I'm gonna do 6 of each. So 6 reverse. Oop, there goes my shin. So yeah, just be careful. You don't want to hurt yourselves like I just did. And you also want to keep your torso pretty upright. We start swinging our torso, then we're really not doing too much. So once you're done with 6 on each side, we're going to switch to the other leg. I have to adjust your footing a little bit. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Very good. All right. So this next one, just do it if your chair doesn't slide or move. Need a nice chair that's solid. So we're gonna have 2 variations. So if you have a nice stable chair, what I want you to do is just kind of place your foot there and just kind of lean forward a little bit. You'll feel that stretch here. If you can't do that with your chair, what I want you to do is just put your foot on it and then just kind of rest there. So yeah, so let's just go ahead, right leg there, and just lean forward on your torso. And it might be a slight lean when you start feeling it, or if you're really flexible, you might go a little bit lower, but you should feel that on that inside part of your thigh. And this is very similar to what we've done on the floor when we're kneeling, but this is just in a different position. All right, and then come upright. And then now, like we've done before, turn your torso towards that leg and then lean towards it. So now you should feel that on the underside of your hamstring. Okay, still working on that same leg. So just like I told the first group, if we weren't able to do that movement, just place your foot there and just drive that knee forward and just hold it. So you should feel a stretch on that back, on that hind leg, and then also maybe a little stretch on this Achilles and calf. So, and you could do like a pump. So instead of you sitting there. So you could be upright and come up where you're stretching more of that leg, or you could bring the glutes in and out, and that's gonna work more on that hamstring that's elevated right here. And with stretches, I mean, sometimes you just gotta try them all. There might be 10 different ways to stretch your calf muscle, but maybe just one way actually does the trick for you. Okay. All right. Let me do the next leg. And just here. And again, just make sure your chair doesn't move. When I have my chair on this side, it tends to slide a little bit more, so you don't want any accidents, so just be careful. If you need a little break, just come back upright, catch your breath, and then reset. Very good. Okay, now we're gonna turn our torso towards it. And forward towards it. Good. Same thing. We were on the first time, right here. And then lean towards it. This one feels good on that hamstring. Reach a little bit more if you're comfortable. And then once you get a nice stretch, then you could just do the pumps. Do a little bit of balance work right here. So standing Jane Fonda. There's standing hip abduction. We're here, and then just bring the leg out in. So the whole time that right foot is elevated, and we're trying to keep our torso as upright as possible. We'll switch. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. We're gonna do slow high knee marches. So we'll alternate. So let's bring that knee as high as you can and slowly. And if you want to make it a little bit more challenging at that top position, you could go into a calf raise with that other leg, the leg supporting you. About 6 on each leg. Very good. All right, we're gonna walk the tightrope. So find me the longest stretch of space in your area. And we're just gonna go flat foot, one foot in front of the other. So just flat. Reverse. Reverse here. Then now we're gonna do it on our toes, okay? So just right there, right on your toes. First. Very good. All right, we'll spend the last 5 or 8 minutes on the floor. So let's go ahead and grab our yoga mat and we'll finish off with some floor stretches. You guys a little lower with me. So let's go belly down. And you just want to reach in front of you with your hands in front and your toes extended behind you. Just reach. Continue reaching. Now let's rest on our elbows. Reach on our elbows. Light stretch on our back. Place our hands where our elbows are. Exaggerate that stretch a little bit more. Try to fully extend if you're able to. Again, we don't want any pain. So from here, let's go ahead and bring your glutes back to your heels. One nice movement. And then reset. Let's go back to that movement or that position. And again, just trying to work on some mobility too, not just holding the stretch. Just put that on that lower back. That upper back when you're in this position with your glutes by your heels. More upper back, and then when you're down low with your hips at the floor should be lower back. Okay. Let's get in the quadruped position. So again, this means your wrists right below your shoulders, knees right below your hips. Okay. So from here, we're gonna go cat-cow. So looking down, you're gonna arch up, inhale, And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Continue. Inhale. Exhale. Yeah. Do two more. In this position, we're gonna bring that right arm underneath, rotating our right shoulder towards the floor and just resting on it. Gentle stretch on the back. Okay, reset. Now we're doing our left side, so left hand slides under. Reset. Okay. Let's go ahead and get on our back. We only have a couple more to go. So we're here on our back. Okay, arms are extended. We're in a sit-up position, so knees are bent here. And we're just gonna do some knee drops. So just drop your knees off to the side. Remember, your back is pretty much glued to the floor. And this next one's gonna be a little bit more advanced. So only do it if you're able to. Shouldn't cause any pain. If you're not able to, then just continue with this with the knee drops. We're just gonna do elevated, and it's gonna require a little bit more core stabilization. Okay, so legs are elevated. And we're gonna go for 5 on each side. All right. Very good. Okay, last one that we're gonna be doing from here is our book openers. So remember, for this one, we're on our side, knees are tucked in, heels on heel, knee on knee, hip over hip, hand on hand. And we're gonna do 6 on each side. So just follow your hand all the way back. And continue. One. Okay. And we'll switch sides. This will be our last one for the day. So 6 on each side. Alrighty. Very good for that session. How's everyone doing? Debbie, you're good. Reese. Everyone, Stramit, Carmen, Olivia, Safina, Lisa. Oh. Needed that.
Thank you, Julio. What's
Yeah.
good?
Of course.
Thank you.
I'll
Wow, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it's my hips been feeling funky. I don't know. I need to really fix that, but it's one of those things that only happens when I do specific lifts, and when it goes away, I think I'll try it again this time, and it always comes back. So I think I just, like I said, sometimes there's some movements that you just forget about it. There's many other alternatives if something doesn't work out. So but yeah, but nonetheless, appreciate everyone. And then I'll see you folks on Monday. So I don't think we have any other holidays, like I said, until summer begins. So summer begins on a Tuesday, our term.
Okay, see you
All
on
right,
Okay,
folks,
thank you, Julio.
take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Julio.
Good rest of the
Bye.
night. Bye.